Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're playing Pinball Arcade again. So, last time we did Whitewater, now we're gonna do Wipeout. 1993 still, which there is some weirdness in the fact that 1993 is still going on because that means at this point they have to squeeze in 94, 95, 96, 97, and 98 in less than I would say that's 22 games, which implies to me there must have been a crash at some point in which just no games came out. A lot of these games, this Gottlieb table insert once again looks like a more throwback to a 70s table in style than the Super Pin style tables that we've been kind of seeing on occasion, um, which tend to have much more modern feel to them and have a lot more going on. Arguably, maybe the Super Pin tables often push the limits and have too much going on. And perhaps there was a attempt, particularly by Gottlieb, who I feel like are probably the third-rate developer of William Stern and Gottlieb. Um, Uh, so their tables tend to be not as good as far as I've seen. Wipeout 1993 is an extreme table designed by Ray Tanzer. Gottlieb glides past the competition with this table that puts players in the middle of an exciting snow sports competition. To score big, the players must advance the course level from the beginner green circle to the expert double black diamond and complete in rounds leading up to the triple diamond round. Start avalanche multi-ball by locking balls on the ski lift to send them down the player controlled slalom mini playfield and earn a huge super jackpots. Go big with Wipeout. 2,150 of these units were produced. So, yeah, Gottlieb has just got no funding as far as tables, or no sales as far as tables. That is an incredibly small number. All the Gottlieb tables seem to now have these LEDs that light up here, and usually they would have LEDs that light up here, but seemingly they put the LEDs behind the word Wipeout in this case. Look at how colorful the reflections are in that chromed table. That seems like that's emulated totally wrong. There's a weird theme that's going on here where it's uh for lack of a better term, rich, affluent people's sports. Whitewater rapid rafting is a rich people's sport. Skiing is a rich person's sport. Um, these are odd themes for pinball, not incredibly insane themes, but back to see two of them is really weird. Seems like we've got more of these ramps that want to drain the ball in the in lane, not at the top of the in lane, but past the switch, which I can't imagine a scenario where I would really feel like that's good design. Give people the switch. Hitting the in lane switch should never trigger anything that important. Really should just start a timer at most. Um, Here we're seeing the backside of somebody skiing. I'm wondering if there's going to be actual personality here. And then there's a scoop that I think pops up the ball back this way and into this lane. So it might be a figure eight. You could do what you hit this pop in sinkhole that would pop the ball back up.
Let's do some snowboarding.
You have a hot dogging. Somebody in a hot dog suit.
Hey, you there? You afraid to play?
The guy is talking very much with like a Swedish or European accent of some sort. There's a standard target. You have a ski boarder, snowboarder, image of a character, one pop-up bumper, standing target, the dog with the first aid kit around its neck / alcohol around its neck. some standing targets spelling bowl, which that's a little weird. Seems like there might be a sneak in option over to the left there, but that may just be an out lane to a horseshoe. Yeah, it is. You just go this way, and you probably can't even go the opposite way, considering there's a gate there. You have Psycho Ski Club, and then you have what I've seen this on a couple tables before, what looks like just 3D plastic modeling. Instead of doing anything particularly unique with the design, they're just getting crazy with the plastic molding. I don't feel like that needs to exist. I don't feel like having all this snow here and covering up the table really makes a lot of sense. There is a ski lift thing here that I guess this is some kind of round tape that will bring the ball up this direction. Theoretically, what I would want to do is take out half of this and just have art of snow, and take out about half of this in width and just have art of snow. Here we have a female skier, and it might be that actually pops up and ejects a ball down this ski lift. But I also wouldn't be surprised if that's literally just a sticker, and that's how they put the picture of the person, because they couldn't like print a skier directly onto these 3D molds. Once the ball gets up to here, it then loops you to the starting gate with 2 in lanes that I guess you might control magnetically, and you're trying to go left, right, or vice versa, doing a slalom. But if you can't control that magnetically, then that is just going to be straight up a nudge game, and we haven't seen any focus as far as a section that really just wants you to nudge. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole table shifts to the left and shifts to the right. But otherwise, it seems like there's not really a lot going on with this table. So they've taken up a decent amount of space. And this starting gate is boring looking. The art on the back is fine. They call this a premier name. And here you have Wipeout with a snowboarder, and then here you have a skier. I'm not sure if any ski outfit ever would be oddly quartered like that.
Let's do some snowboarding.
This kind of feels like a theme they could use a secondary theme. As crazy as it may be, you see a helicopter there, maybe you do something with a helicopter. Maybe you put a Yeti on the table, and since that would be at least a little bit different, you put a snowman on the table that spun around. That would make a lot of sense. A snowball fight mode might be a cool idea. I don't know what else you could do. You could put in like a sauna, hot spa, or hot springs concept, although that wouldn't be really recognizable to Westerners so much as it would to be Europeans or Europeans or Easterners. But there might be an idea in that. Put an igloo on the table. I would think you would want to take the concept and expand it further away from just snowboarding and skiing. If anything, this might be a direct indication that either arcade owners or pinball table creators themselves somehow became rich enough to be disassociated with their target audience, Where in 1993, I don't feel like there was a massive percentage of people who went to arcades that were also skiing or snowboarding. And certainly I don't feel like kids would particularly relate to that.
Let's do some snowboarding.
Let's see, what are the standard goals? And then let's hop into this game. Start to rip the crud.
Racing to the bottom.
I have no idea what that means. Start avalanche multi-ball. Score 5 million pump shot. Don't know what that is. Increase the course bonus. And earn an extra ball. Alright, let's see how this plays.
The ski lift is now open.
And Wipeout, the song that's been licensed here, is, I believe, a Beach Boys song from the 60s in 1993, which that really does just scream. That totally just screams. Oh, so the solemn is a ball lock.
Way to go, dude! Shoot the ball! Ooh, nice run!
This is ridiculously easy to start a multi-ball at this rate. Like literally 3 shots.
Way to go, dude! Hey, that's some mucho bonus.
I don't even know what the
Ooh, nice run.
what the skill shot would be on this table.
This is a psychopath.
Now it just shot up a ramp and then it weakly came back down the center. Alright, so the table does on the slalom shift seem to work.
Maybe I should call your mother, have her help you ski.
What's weird there is in the DirectX 11 version of that, it doesn't feel like the blue light is lit at all, but I can only assume it's all on the left side. I mean, that's just insanely too easy a table. Like 12 minutes with 9 to 10 minutes talking and setting up. One game, not even knowing what you're doing, you're gonna accomplish a multi-ball and increase a bonus. That's ridiculous.
The ski lift is now open.
So the ski lift starts open. So your goal pretty much every game will be to shoot the ball in the bar center right ramp, which maybe I got a little bit easier, lucky on the first couple shots there, but I don't think so. I don't think it's that hard to get the angle that right. There is a center lane, standing target, and pop-up bumper, but boy, most tables feel like they completely demand at least 3 multi-balls, 3 pop-up bumpers, not multi-balls, although having 3 different multi-ball modes isn't terrible for a game either. Also, now that was a video mode where I chose by pushing the left or right flipper. I didn't even realize that's what it was. It was asking me something. The games need.
This is a psychopath.
They need something.
Whoa, this is a psychopath.
Audio-wise, to tell you to look up to the screen.
The flippers to ski. The ski lift is now open.
Alright, so I only got 2 of them, which I guess means the goal now would be to get the ball back up there.
The ski lift is now open.
feels like a massive amount of this table is taken up between the ski lift and the slalom, which that's just too much. The slalom feels like something that potentially should be on the back glass, and the ski lift should take you up to the back glass if you're going to take up that extra room. This table does have a center peg, so I can't complain about that. We'll have to wait and see if it has a ball saver or a... I keep forgetting to change the skin. Or a kickback. But I can definitely tell that the pitch on this table is fairly bad. Having recently seen a video of the underside of an old pinball table, I have to wonder how much is really on the underside of a newer pinball table. If you were building one in 2021, like how many switches would you, how many and how big would switches be? How much space does a pop-up bumper take on the bottom side? Because they're incredibly massive on old tables. Like every bit that you see as far as the square of a pinball cabinet at some point was being actually used.
Go for it! Shoot the ball! Racing to the bottom!
But you get the ball to the slalom, and either you don't really get anything for skiing, which doesn't make a lot of sense, or it's just not really playing an audio feedback to say you're getting the jackpot. I just did something, I don't know what got me the jackpot. See, and I would think you would embrace the idea of doing jumps and tricks and things that are less likely to actually have been done in the real world with skiing. Things that are closer to some of the Nintendo 64 or PlayStation style skiing games. Or you have a race with multiple balls, lock 3 balls at the top, and then have a race downward. There should probably be a jump of some sort. There's a lot of things on this table that seems like you can just bounce against. And that time I only got 2 of the targets, and that may be the case, is that I've never gotten all 3 of the targets. So a lot of pegs, a lot of things that bounce back. Really just creates this deadly zone in the lower playfield, and the only safe thing to do in this game is to get that shot over and over again and get that multi-ball started if you can. Although I'm not even sure what actually starts the multi-ball.
Racing to the bottom! Whoa!
It feels like it's the standing target on the far left that starts the multi-ball. There you go. In that time, I got all 3 of the angles. So I feel like I'm accomplishing things that the game is going to ask me to do after I get all the standard goals done. Having a horseshoe that ramps around and hits standing targets is a decent thought. I don't hate it as a concept, but that's about it.
We're hot dogging now, man. I'm out of control. Just no plowing.
So do I just have a timer
Good job, dude.
while I'm hitting these hot dog things? I think pretty much that's it.
Nice run.
There's definitely a ramp there that needs to be changed. Needs to be curved around.
The key lift is now open.
And I really have to wonder how much of this table is around the idea of just getting the license to Wipeout. And it doesn't seem like lights actually do light up the letters Wipeout, so there's a whole mode that could have been in this table and just doesn't exist. I'm draining the ball intentionally at the moment.
Nice run.
That way I can reset the game,
Key lift is now open.
since it's once again glitched through Pinball Arcade simulation. It does have a ball saver, but it doesn't really blink any light or tell you it has a ball saver, or tell you when the ball savers run out. One of the rounds on Wipeout is Rip the Crud round. To start Whip the Crud round, shoot to the lit into round up kicker. When Rip the Crud is lit, when Rip the Crud starts, display shows this much. The display immediately begins to decrease. Shoot that to score the currently displayed value. Ends when the hurry up values or the value decreases to 200,000. How do you choose to light those, though? Is the question. Another way to score a Wipeout is to complete pump shots. When a new ball is started, shoot the snowboarding ramp. That's the ramp that really sucks as far as an angle to light the pump shot. When the pump shot is lit, shoot the snowboarding ramp to score 1,000,000. Shooting the ramp again without hitting any other playfill switches increases the value to 300,000, 500,000, 10 million, and 20 million. Yeah, it was, I misread the numbers. If 20 million pump shot is earned, the pump shot value is held at 3 million per shot for the rest of the game. Okay. So, two very specific things need to happen here. Seems like there's no skill shot. I need to get really good at one shot on the left flipper.
Nice run. Go for it. Shoot the ball.
And it kind of doesn't work if I start multi-ball.
Way to go, dude. Shoot the ball.
So I'm actually screwing myself by doing this.
Just no plowing. Super Jackpot. Racing to the bottom.
This might be a case in this multi-ball
Nice run.
where you have to actually
Check
get
out
the
extra
3
ball, man.
ramps on the slalom.
Just no plowing. Check out the extra ball, man.
Almost got it.
The ski's like embedded in my sternum.
There we go. That was the Rip the Crud.
Psychopath. Ooh, nice run. Racing to the bottom.
There we go.
Racing to the bottom.
And I missed something else, so I didn't get to 20 million, which almost feels like there might be a wizard goal around that, because there's just really not so much going on this table that I feel like you could do too much. Let's see. Theoretically, your goal would be to hit that and get all the mysteries and start all the 5 different missions.
The ski light embedded in my sternum. Whoa, this is a
And see, the joke here of people getting hurt seriously while skiing,
nice run.
I don't feel like is a good joke.
Attention please. This is the snowboarding event.
Because at that point you're not really highlighting skiing as a good thing. You're basically propagandizing against skiing. And as a pinball developer, then you've lost a potential customer in ski lodges. I could imagine ski lodges would have been a prime place to put an arcade machine or two. I'm not sure if ski lodges ever did that.
Maybe I should call your mother, have her help you ski. The ski lift is now open.
So you would want to highlight every activity as being fun in one way or another.
I'll pack you a lunch and hold your hand while we go down the Bunny Hills.
And this is another table that's kind of insulting the player when they lose, which is not a good thing to do.
Okay, all you hot dogs, it's time to do it.
So here we are in
No
the
plowing.
hot dog mode, which feels like you really can't do too much else while in hot dog mode.
Ski light embedded in my sternum.
So it might logically just make more sense to hold the ball and just wait for the mode to end.
Maybe you should play with the yo-yo. Maybe you should play with the yo-yo.
Well, saying it 3 times. So score 50 million slalom, double your score. I'm not sure how you do that. Earn 300 million dog bonus. Earn the skiers run special. And score 3 super jackpots. All seem somewhat fairly easy to do without actually knowing what you're supposed to do.
Go for it. Shoot the ball.
Shoot another ball.
Ooh, nice run. Racing to the bottom.
There's
Nice shot.
apparently not a bonus for getting 20 million on the same
This
ramps.
is a psychopath. Great shot.
You should start the multi-ball
Bonus.
first and foremost, which means getting the ball into the sinkhole, which can be easier said than done.
Extra ball is lit.
That sinkhole is not particularly in an area where the ball's likely to get slingshotted either. Alright.
10 million. Racing to the bottom. This is a psychopath. Ooh, nice run.
Let's see. That's the danger zone. Let's see if we can start another mission.
Run. Attention, please. This is the moguls event. Oh, gnarly. Whoa.
So, I assume in that event they just wanted you to hit every blinking target.
Is now open.
This is another table where there's just way too much going on. It's one thing you certainly could have fixed is instead of having the slalom, is have the ball just pop up and shoot upward. That, of course, didn't give you that gimmick, but it would have saved you a ridiculous amount of space. You can see this game doesn't have a kickback on the left. We've basically seen no tables with a right kickback either. I'm fairly certain I've seen at least one table with it, but I felt like I had seen a lot more. The out lanes aren't terribly angled on this table. If anything, I think you could keep most of the angles on this table. It would just be a matter of watering it down a little bit, opening up the area a little bit more. And each time a ball is locked, that is getting one of the diamond levels on skiing. I'm trying my very best to see if I can get the ball back up the ski lift, but I don't think I can. So it might as well just start another mission. There's just far too much stuff that is too close to the lower play field that bounces things back. And some of that really would be fixed with simply changing them to sinkholes instead of standing targets or scoops. Yeah, if the hot dogs over there were a scoop instead of a 3 sinkholes, that would work.
Okay, all you hot dogs, it's time to do it.
Honestly, I would prefer that there be 3 hidden bumpers behind the ski mountain, and that would be potentially what starts the avalanche instead of them being in the center of the table. Even though you wouldn't be able to see them, maybe in modern technology, having more see-through clear plastic mountains would be doable. I think it probably would be. You could probably very easily have that be a thing.
Oh man, my head flew off.
There's another mission done.
Whoa, this is a psychopath. Maybe I should call your mother, have her help you ski.
I wish there was a way to prevent balls from looping back up the in lane and draining to the out lane, but frankly it doesn't happen enough to really complain. But yeah, 33 minutes into playing this with 10 minutes of setup, I feel like I've pretty much figured out everything you can do on this table. I think I'm way closer than I should be to doing everything you can do on this table. This table desperately needs an auto launcher.
Attention please, this is the Moguls event. Great shot! Oh yeah! Let's do the Moguls!
I don't think you have to actually finish these events.
Go for it!
So I think you can pretty much just fail and you'll be fine. And it doesn't seem like it keeps any kind of record of your failures. as being failures. Where if you had a more modern table, it would be very easy to have NeoPixels, which are what a company called Adafruit calls RGB LEDs, individual adjustable LEDs. But by having those LEDs under a table instead of just like a single color of white going through a painted clear piece of glass or plastic, it would be really easy to light up one level as red and one level as green or blue to show whether you only partially succeeded on it.
Whoa, this is a psychopath.
This slalom almost certainly glitched and broke all the time.
Super Jackpot.
As Super Jackpot was lit, but I don't think I hit the last thing that needed to happen. It probably would be smarter to have magnetic flingers, because if that slalom did break, it then would leave you with only nudging, which then probably would break more parts of the table eventually.
Way to go, dude! Shoot the ball!
And see, at this point, that's where the lights should light up to tell you that notice
Go for it!
for a moment there I took my hand off the that's an odd tilt warning. So the ball is stuck. It got stuck. Ball's not stuck, it says. The ball is stuck on the slalom. And the physics are too broken for that to work.
Maybe you should play with the yo-yo.
Warning, ball missing or stuck. Place one ball in out hole. According to the game, the ball is not stuck.
The ski lift is now open. Ooh, nice run.
I still see the ball there though, so we'll see how it feels about that later.
This is a psychopath.
It's kind of surprising that we even had that happen. There the ball just glitched right through the flipper, too. Physics is just breaking down on this table completely.
Check out the extra ball, man. Please remain calm. The panic button round is about to begin.
There definitely is an issue with this table, with Pinball Arcade in general, not just this table, that it feels like it was more focused around making cell phone and 720p versions of its engine, and it never really upgraded to 1080p, which is unacceptable in 2021 standards, that you'd have your physics tied to your resolutions and the frame rates so much that you can't even have a good experience. You see, I think at that point it's probably loading a new state. And so the ball is probably unstuck now. I don't see it anymore.
Whoa, this is a psychopath. Shoot the ball. Race it to the bottom.
Yeah,
Way to go, dude.
I feel like the game should have an auto launcher, and it should play something a little bit more interesting as the ball goes up the ski lift. The ski lift itself could be a lot more interesting of a device anyways. While ski lifts are real, I feel like you maybe set this in the future and just have a ski elevator or a ski transporter.
Race it to the bottom.
Maybe that fixes a lot of this idea. Instead of having a 90s radical dude style visual theme, you have a 90s radical dude skiboarding, snowboarding theme set in the future.
Race it to the bottom.
Then you could have like rocket boosts on the ski snowboards. Since the slalom actually moves itself left and right, I don't know if the flippers really are affecting enough of it to actually feel like it has full control there, or that you can succeed to get the 50 million reward, or if you really are just gonna be under the whims of randomness. There, I got an extra ball, and amongst all the fanfare of getting the extra ball, I died and lost the ball. It's no coincidence that almost every table we've played has not had a particularly easy extra ball to collect. But in all fairness, tables can get fairly boring if you're collecting massive amounts of extra balls and keeping it going for 20 minutes at a time.
Nice run.
But that's ideally what a pro player would want to do, is to get an extra ball and secure safe returns on investments, much like how a boring accountant is usually a good accountant.
Let's do some snowboarding. Check out the extra ball, man. Okay, all you hot dogs, it's time to do it.
Have I not locked a second ball? I thought I had.
We're hot dogging now, man.
There's another extra ball.
I'm on a control.
And again, in all the fanfare, the ball manages to drain. This is a fairly low-scoring table for 1983.
Ski again.
The LCD screen also feels a little weird. Like, sometimes it puts a red
Shoot the ball.
thing in front of the middle of the screen, and that doesn't make any sense. So I feel like maybe it's glitched and programmed wrong. This is another table where there's not really enough video modes or video interactions going on. There is no real video mode. I should look to see what the goal is. Otherwise, wow, that was a save.
Got no plowing.
Yeah, I don't know if the goal here with the wizard goals is to do all 5 of the missions or start another multi-ball.
Nice shot. Shoot the ball. Hey, that's a mucho bonus. Attention, please. This is the snowboarding event. Let's do some snowboarding.
Alright. So it wants me to hit that ramp,
Go for it.
which is pretty much impossible to hit that ramp with the right flipper
Whoa.
and make it all the way up.
I'm out of control.
And that ramp has not been a ramp I've been targeting. I'm about to run out of time, which is fine.
Attention, please. This is the moguls event.
Here it wants me to hit
Good job, dude.
everything. The angle on that center target obviously in the wrong place. Alright, well, 46 minutes in, let's look at direct instructions. Lock 2 balls, open the ski lift diverter, complete the drop targets here. When around or skiers run is not active. Once the ski lift diverter is open, it blah blah blah. Ski lift diverter is also open when the ball is plunged. If the first shot successfully completes the right side of the ski lift orbit.
Let's do some snowboarding.
Blah 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 blah. I just want to know how to get the 50 million reward.
Racing to the bottom.
When slalom is running, the player can control the tilt of the slalom playfield. Hitting the left flipper swings it left. Hitting the right swings it right. Complete the lit slalom lanes to score 20 million. Completing 2 lit ones scores 35 million. Completing 50 million. When the ball falls off the platfield, the slalom feature ends. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Hot dogging rounds. To start hot dogging, enter here.
Let's do some snowboarding.
Complete all 4 drop targets and the 3 emoji targets behind them. So there's standing targets behind the drop targets that I hadn't seen. Will double your score. Okay. That explains why that was still blinking. Let's see.
Hey, you there? You afraid to play?
To light the hot dog bonus, complete the right in lane. Once that's completed, shoot the U spot within 12 seconds to score the hot dog bonus. It starts at 3 million. To increase it, hit the upper slingshot. Wow. Increasing score by an upper slingshot is an insane thought. To light the add bonus, which is just a bear, which makes no sense. When the add bonus is lit, each hit to the pop-up bumpers adds 3 million points to the bonus up to 765 million points. Add bonus is lit until the hot dog bonus is turned off by completing the right in lane or shooting the U spot targets. Interesting. Or letting the light time out. So they want you to get halfway towards the maximum of 300 million. Another great feature is the skiers run. To complete skiers run, collect all 6 letters and skiers on the apron here. Oh, is that what that's called? To collect letters, complete bowl on those targets. A skier letter is collected when a game is ended unless 3 letters are already lit. lit skier letters are held from player to player and game to game until the start of the table is reloaded. When all 6 skier letters are collected, skiers run is started.
Let's do some
When it begins, a
snowboarding.
30-second timer starts, and the Rip to Crud, Scoop, U-Spot Target, Ski Club Orbit, Snowboarding Ramp, and Inter-Round Up-Kicker lit. Completing the lit shots gets 20 million. Completing all 5 lit shots scores the special, and it wants me to get the special.
Hey, you there? You afraid to play?
So how to get the Super Jackpot is the last thing. And they want you to get 3 of them. And I didn't read that far ahead. Each time a slalom lane is completed, a jackpot worth 5 million points. Completing all 3 lit slalom lanes relights 3 more lanes and lights the super jackpot. Shoot the Rip Crud to hit the jackpot. Super jackpot. Okay. I get that. I don't know if I can pull that off. Arguably, this is a table I could probably cheat on fairly easily, though if cheats counted.
Go for it. Shoot the ball.
And that would be the big if, is
Maybe I
if
should call
cheats
your
counted.
mother, have her help you ski.
What that really boils down to, though, is it really goes to highlight that there's just nothing here. Alright, so lock the ball.
Use the flippers to ski. Great shot.
There we go.
Run.
There's a 50 million slalom, which I guess maybe the reason why I hadn't gotten that before is because I had only done that in the multi-ball, which is different.
Attention please, this is the snowboarding event.
Race to the bottom. Let's do some snowboarding.
So, theoretically,
Go for
what
it.
I'd like to do is just light the skiers warmed up.
Now open.
And it pretty much feels like you can't
Get out there,
activate
ball, man.
Okay, all you
anything
hot dogs,
else
it's time to do it.
while you're in multi-ball, so it actively makes it worse for you.
Go.
That angle is just terrible, though. Man, turn that standing target into a sinkhole or a scoop.
Ski again.
Play on the theme of crashing in the snow
Go for it.
or breaking a ski or something like that.
Oh man, my head flew off.
I would definitely focus more around the theme of breaking a ski instead of breaking a leg. Too.
Whoa.
I feel like the skiers resets down to only 3 lit lights per game at the end of a game, so minimum you would need to spell skiers or spell bowl, which I don't know why it says bowl anyways. But yeah, I think you'd have to do that 3 different times. I am not hitting anything.
This is a psychopath. Awesome job, dude.
So we're just trying to hear that sound effect
Psychopath.
of the dog. But that dog sound effect really was only at like 40 million, so 300 million I'd have to get really, really good at. I feel like only in multi-ball could you actually pull off the bumper increase up to 300 million.
Shoot the ball.
unless there was some other way to increase that reward.
Nice job. Shoot the ball.
Racing to the bottom.
So yeah, anytime you
Maybe I
hear
should call your mother, have her
you
help
hear
you
the dog
ski.
barking, then you know you've lit the bumper increase and the bumper reward.
This is a psychopath. Whoa. This is a psychopath.
There we go. I spelled skiers once. Alright, so theoretically, I need to, with the left flipper, get the ball up to the left. With the left flipper, I need to get it to the ski lift. With the right flipper, I need to get it into the diverter, and I need to pay attention as far as hitting the slalom and hitting all the lights, which that is just asking a lot, but not really asking that much if I was to fully just focus on multi-ball. If every shot was around that idea, then that would be doable.
Attention, please. This is the Moguls event.
Great shot.
I don't even know what the phrase moguls means. I mean,
For it.
it feels like it's something from Harry Potter. Muggles was a phrase in Harry Potter. But this would have been really before Harry Potter, I think, would have come out, or at least been prominent enough that somebody would want to reference it.
It's time to rip the crust.
Way to go, dude.
Nice job. Shoot the ball.
Get another multi-ball while we're at it.
Racing to the bottom.
Now would be the time to start multi-ball.
Nice run.
Need to quit hitting that and hit that instead.
This is a psychopath.
I can't help but feel like you are very hopeless on this table, and that kind of sucks as an idea.
Nice run.
Like the goal of the slalom really just wants you to move your eyes into an area where your eyes cannot be during multi-ball. That's why every other table that's had a multi-ball has been so successful at just letting us focus on the lower left and right flippers.
Let's do some snowboarding.
There we go.
Go for it.
Is there anything else to hit?
I'm on control.
Like, I'm really supposed to just be hitting that and that alone. And this is now flashing skiers, which makes me feel like I'm either really close to activating skiers mode, or I have activated skiers mode.
Okay, all you hot dogs, it's time to do it.
Get all the
Ski like
hot dog signs, which is going to be fairly hard to hit.
Hot dogging now, man. Hey, that's some mucho bonus.
The ski lift is now open.
Whoa! This is a psychopath.
Come on, game. Don't do me like this with skiers all lit.
Ski lift is now open.
Go for it.
Shoot the ball.
I would love to start the skiers mode with multi-ball going on, but I don't think I can do that. Maybe I could.
Whoa! This is a psychopath.
The ski lift is now open.
Like, I've hit almost everything on this table.
Nice shot.
Just in the wrong order.
Hey, that's some mucho bonus.
Well, I did earn a free game off of that. 193 million. Not bad, but I'm not really loving the theme on this table, nor am I really loving the play on this table. Notice that skiers is still blinking, so it didn't reset it down to 3 like I thought it would.
The ski lift is now open.
There must be a switch at the top of this ramp to activate the ball saver mode.
The ski lift is now
But once again, we've got a glitch that we have to work our way through from pressing the A button slightly too fast for the game, which is ridiculous. Alright. We gotta figure out how to start the skiers mode. That's the main goal right now. Everything else would be probably just a matter of time, like every other wizard goal. If I put enough time into it, if I put enough effort into it, I think I would succeed fairly well with that.
This is a psychopath. Whoa! This is a psychopath. Go for it. This is a psychopath.
It's odd, but I don't think you get any kind of reward at all for doing the figure 8
Broken.
ramps as far as a 2-ramp combo. And I guess there's not a way to really do a 2-ball combo, and that might be part of the problem there.
shoot the ball.
Because there's no way for the right flipper to end up getting, or the left flipper to end up putting the ball in the right.
Nice run.
For a table to have such angles, it really should just have an easier way to restart the multi-ball. Although I don't know if that helps anything. And I don't know if you'd want to do something crazier and have more like a 4 or 5 ball multi-ball on this table. Probably wouldn't hurt in the avalanche multi-ball. That would also open the idea to making a 3-ball multi-ball that happens a different way.
I'm out of control. Let's do the mogul. Look at the moguls on that snow bunny.
Are moguls
Hey, that's some mucho
like
bonus.
boobs? If snow bunny is a phrase for like women skiers, lady skiers,
Way to go, dude!
so if you're mogul must be a reference to like a boob,
This is a psychopath.
unless they mean ass cheeks,
This is a
butt cheeks.
psychopath.
I would suspect that's probably not the
This
case.
is a psychopath.
The ski lift is now open.
I should get an award for missing every solemn shot. For 1993 tables, though, they have at least done a decent job of not using the phrase loser. There was quite a few, like, in vogue at the time, slang phrases and insult phrases that were said quite a bit. And I think people found them mostly annoying, particularly adults at the time found them mostly annoying. So, yeah, I'm glad the table does not call you a loser when you drain out or something like that.
Whoa!
There's literally nothing going on there. It's just playing a timer, waiting for it to finish.
Some mucho bonus.
Please remain calm. The panic button round is about to begin.
I totally boned that up. Well, at some point that reset the skiers. So Skiers Run Special was click the 6 layers. When all 6 skiers have been collected, Skiers Run is started. And I guess it was just started then. Or maybe I never got that 6th letter. 30-second timer to hit Rip the Crud, U-Spot Target, Ski Club, Orbit, Snowboarding Ramp, and Enter Round Up Kicker. You don't have to hit them in order, I don't think. Let's see what we could change here. Let's see. Game adjustments. Yeah, these probably exact same game adjustments as what we've seen before. Prices. What we're looking for, if anything, would be the ability to turn off the slalom. Something that says like slalom broken. I really wish when you bought the pro mode of this, you could buy extra games, you could add extra balls. Even if it was going to pop up and say, well, then your high score doesn't count, having options that actually existed on the table by the default settings makes a lot of sense. In a funny way, it kind of highlights that the emulation of these tables is almost just a tease to actually buying the actual table, which is an insane sales pitch, certainly. Panic button. Maybe you can't turn off the slalom. Maybe it's such an integrated feature that they didn't even program it for that. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that seems to indicate you can turn off the slalom at all. I'm just going to turn off operator mode because almost certainly the game is going to glitch.
Maybe I should call your mother, have her help you ski.
And it launched the ball, weirdly, for me there. I didn't pull the plunger.
Whoa, this is a psychopath. Shoot the ball. Oh man, my head flew off. Shoot the ball.
Shoot
Race
this
to the
ball.
bottom.
Okay. So, with ball control, there's not quite enough momentum to hit the standing target here. And hitting the hot dogs and the moguls behind it doesn't really do anything for you.
Let's do some snowboarding.
You don't have enough momentum to hit that. With ball control, you can
Go for it.
try to keep the ball somewhat over here so that you can A, spell skiers, or B, bring up the bonus. I feel like pulling the flipper should potentially change which standing target is lit for the skiers,
Good snow plowing.
or maybe you don't have the skiers standing targets there. Or maybe you just have it spell ski instead of skier,
This is a psychopath.
which, yeah, there's four letters there spelling bowl, B-O-W-L, when it could have been S-K-I instead.
My leg's broken.
The idea that this is the dog bowl
Whoa.
doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Whoa. This is a psychopath.
There's no like half pipes or anything being shown here. In all fairness, in 1993, the idea of snowboarding down half pipes and doing tricks instead of just going directly down
Maybe I should call your mother, have her help you ski.
a mountain may not have been established as an idea. There, frankly, has been a decent amount of improvement on the entertainment level of skiing and the television airability of skiing. You're 1/4 of the way to extra ball. Alright, so ball control. And then
For Super Jackpot.
Race to the bottom.
so like cheating,
For Super Jackpot.
I now have it set up for Super Jackpot, which is impossible to hit. So you can set yourself up for a Super Jackpot or a multi-ball, but that's 2 Super Jackpots, or that's 1 Super Jackpot, and then we've got to get the ball back to the ski shot, ski scoop.
This is a psychopath.
Which what starts the ski lift again? Is it the center lane shot?
10 million. Whoa, this is a psychopath.
Yeah, I'm looking at like all the blinking
Go
things.
for it.
1/2 of the way to extra ball.
10 million.
Extra ball.
Whoa. 10 million.
So I think I have to just let a ball drain. And then at that point, that's when everything resets.
Racing to the bottom.
All skiers report to the skiers run.
Okay.
20 million.
So this is the skiers thing, which I have started this once or twice.
Go for it.
Hit that for 20 million. Can I get up that for 20 million?
20 million! Ooh, nice run!
And then all the way around.
This is a psycho
And that's the
pass.
special.
Nice job. Shoot the ball.
So seemingly there's kind of nothing here
That's a mucho bonus.
as far as a reason to start the different modes. So there's really not a reason to have them all named.
Go for it! Got snow plowing. The ski's like embedded in my sternum.
Couldn't get up the ramp fast enough. Starting at a mode. There's not enough mystery rewards on this table.
Time to do it.
Remember, there have been tables that have had like entire spinners and huge amounts of things.
Nice job. You doubled your score.
There's the double the score. It's just hitting a lot of standing targets and the drop down targets in front of it. We've got up to 141 million on the hot dog thing here.
Let's do some
So-
snowboarding.
Let me ask this question. When I hit this shot, does that increase it? No, that just scores it for you. It really feels like that standing
Go for
target should have a way that you could get it into the pop-up bumpers.
Ski again.
Shoot the ball.
And we're working towards the second multi-ball. There's not really a reason to spell skiers. So highly unlikely you would actually be able to get all the wizard goals done in one game. It would be an impossibly good game. Here we are. We're just trying to keep the balls into play.
Maybe I should call your mother, have her help you
I'm just
ski.
trying to manipulate the ball on the slalom, which means I'm not really watching what the ball's doing elsewhere.
Super Jackpot.
They're now, I believe, lined up for a Super Jackpot,
My leg's broken.
which means once again I need to get the ball
Snow
up
plowing.
that shot, which let's see if we can get the ball to do that. Let's see, either
It's an
through
avalanche.
ball control or through just lining up the shot. There's a Super Jackpot. And I feel like you can't really get a second Super Jackpot.
Super Jackpot.
Maybe you can. Maybe I am lined up here where I can get a Super Jackpot. I lost one ball.
Racing to the bottom. Awesome job, dude.
And with that, we're still only at 200 million on the dogs. The pop-up bumpers.
This is the snowboarding event.
Go for it.
And since you'll never really have enough momentum around that shot,
Control.
you might as well just wait the 17 seconds.
Racing to the bottom.
And while you're waiting for that 17 seconds to pass, you really can't do anything else because you're not going to be able to light up skier. You're not going to be able to increase anything else. So just let it time out. That's the safest move.
Attention, please. This is the Moguls event.
Here's the Moguls event.
Look at the moguls on that snow bunny. Oh yeah!
That got everything.
Go for it!
Those standing targets are too hard. Alright.
This is a psychopath!
Then the last event
10 million!
should be...
Remain calm. The panic runs around
We're at
the
like 2
company.
billion right now. Yep. There's that. So I think if I hit this, nope, that doesn't work. So I need to hit the left, the right in lane here. And that way I can hit this while it's blinking now. So that the pop-up bumpers will increase. But apparently they won't. So what does this do?
Diamond time.
That advances the course. And in advancing the course, we have a diamond time shot. We have a loop there. And then that shot. But the reward on the bumper reset. So unless you had like ball control and you could just keep the ball over like this and just constantly push it towards this, I don't see a way you're ever going to get anywhere close to that reward.
Go for it! Whoa! This is a
Other than just some random amount of luck. There are 3 bumpers, I just realized. There's one in the exact center, which makes that triangle just downright awful as far as a placement for bumpers, and that certainly would explain why I'm not having great levels of success with it. And so you advance 1 rank to double diamond,
psychopath!
and I'll have to look at the table to see if there even is a light for a triple diamond on the table. But it feels like it would be feasible that they may want the real pros of this table to potentially do each mission 2 or 3 times per ball to get the maximum score.
It's time to rip the crust.
But if you actually don't want to activate anything,
No plowing!
then you have to play
Embedded in my
very cautiously to not end up hitting the
I'm on a control!
targets. Otherwise you have to just wait until it runs out of time to bring you back. And then even with ball control, it seems
Bonus.
Okay,
very
hot
easy
dog. It's time to do it.
to mess up.
We're hot dogging now, man! I'm on a control!
Nice job. You doubled your score.
See, just barely now up to 300 million. So once you get to 300 million, you have to hit that, and then you have like 12 seconds to hit that,
Some mucho bonus.
and then that resets it all.
This is a psychopath.
And I just don't feel like anything else is going to happen
10 million.
if I start
Attention, please.
2, 3 more
This is the
missions
moguls event.
and try and finish them as quickly as possible
Look at the
and
moguls
advance the
event.
lane
Nobody.
again. I feel like the whole thing's just going to reset again, as is true with every pinball table, is that once you've done everything,
Go for
you
it.
usually don't get a game over. You're just asked to do it again.
100 million. Hey, that's some mucho bonus.
None of these characters have any personality as far as they don't have names or anything, but their voice acting is fine, and they're saying almost the right things, although perhaps a little bit more instruction as to what angles to shoot might be a little bit useful.
That's some mucho bonus.
Attention, please. This is the snowboarding event.
So they say a snowboarding event.
I'm on a
It
control.
would probably be a little bit helpful if they just said shoot the snowboard lane.
Racing to the bottom. Let's do some snowboarding.
Just wait here for 10 seconds. Will we even get
Go
a status
for it.
window by holding the flipper on this table? I don't think you do. It didn't say anything that you could get a status window by holding the flipper. That may not have been a Gottlieb feature. Alright. And then we're back to advancing the triple diamond time and advancing rank.
Awesome
Just
job,
hitting
dude.
that. And then
Whoa,
hitting
this is
that.
a psychopath.
And then hitting that.
Nice run.
And that gets you the special. But does it change anything? No, because apparently this double diamond is probably a score doubler, and this triple diamond down there is nothing.
Maybe
So
I should call your mother, have her help you ski.
I don't feel like there's any other rank element on this table. So I think I've done
I'll pack you a
everything.
lunch and hold your hand while we go down the Bunny Hill. Hey, that's some
With
mucho
perhaps the
bonus.
exception of, I have like 2 extra balls. With perhaps the exception of getting a third
Nice job.
multi-ball,
Shoot the ball.
or Super Jackpot.
Whoa.
I've done everything this table has to offer, and
Racing to the bottom.
being able to do everything and see everything the table has to offer
Psychopath.
didn't really make me any more enthusiastic for this table. It's a fine table, it's an average table,
Hey, that's some mucho
But-
bonus.
it's not one that I would put in the top 30. It would be incredibly difficult for me to take every single table in this curation and rank them, but I can tell you probably the top 20, top 30. Yeah. Ones that really stand out, ones that you would really want to own if you... And in all fairness, even if I was like a millionaire and could own one of every table, I don't think I would really want that. That's just too much excess, and that would effectively be the equivalent of owning an arcade or a museum. And if I was going to own every table, I might as well make an arcade and museum and open it to the public.
Racing to the bottom.
It would be a lot more philanthropical to have a pinball museum and close it once a day
Again.
or once a month to play private, to have a private event for myself, than to just
Maybe I should call your
have
mother, have her
pinball
help you
machines
ski.
sit at a house spending most of their lifetime doing nothing, because there would be only one of me.
Oh yeah.
And usually I'm awake in the middle of the night anyway, so it wouldn't be particularly even difficult for me to, if I had won the lottery or something, own every pinball table I could get my hand on, and then
Your snow plowing.
have a museum or an arcade, whatever they call them these days.
I'm out of control!
Pinball museums, I think, are a lot like off the side road museums, zoos is what I meant to say, like Tiger King type zoos. So that was 6 billion cheating. But legitimate scores are like 600 million, so 10 times what you'd get there. So could I pull this off? Sure. With enough time, could I pull that off? That would be fairly difficult, but with enough time, yes. Can I do that with enough time? Sure, with that. Yeah, I think I could do all these. Do I want to do all of those? Not really. Let's look at the leaderboards. I'm playing this, let's see, early morning on a Sunday, so that the week may start over. But yeah, one thing you can take when you ignore the cheater, the obvious cheater at the top, and suspect that the second one's a cheater too. You might even say the top 5 are. But before you even enter the top 10, you're down to 5 billion on this table, which really just highlights how low scoring the table this is. And my score, my legitimate score, puts me in 6,000, which I think highlights how few people really have played this table. Weekly speaking, I'm in the top 4 of, I bet, less than 20. Yep, because I bet the week started over. Monthly, I'm in the top 75 of what I imagine playing this on the 11th day of the month. 220 would be my guess. The idea that only 220 bespoke individual people played a table is a very low number. I was wrong. 315. But 315 is not a player base, really, for any specific table. Sure, I wouldn't be surprised if on average there's somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 people that play Pinball Arcade on the daily. But when you have to break it down between so many different leaderboards and levels, that's pretty crazy. And in all fairness, most video games don't break down leaderboards per level to the point where that would be a viable argument against having a small player base or a big player base. Only pinball has to be considered that way because each pinball table is effectively its own thing. And certainly I didn't particularly enjoy having to play Wipeout, Whitewater, and then Wipeout back to back. 2 sports themed tables, when I'm not a huge fan of sports, weren't going to be great. It certainly is a far difference from playing Twilight Zone or Star Trek The Next Generation. I wouldn't be 100% surprised if these 3 tables are fairly mediocre too. But I'd like to see at least one of them be fairly good. Oh, also here we have like Attack on Mars, which I'm hoping that's fairly good. I'm hoping that between these 3 there's at least a couple of good ones. I'm hoping Jackpot is good. I'm hoping Frankenstein is good. I'm hoping No Fear is good. And I kind of know Theater of Magic is good. It would really suck if every game from this point down to, say, this point was mediocre at best. But we may run into that. We don't have that many tables left in general, so anything could happen. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.